another interesting location, which is Mount Bental. Interesting because we can see the border of Syria from there. So we are quite excited to see that. There's also a Syrian bunker there. We can visit inside that as well. And it's in Golan Heights. And Golan Heights is one of the most beautiful places in Israel because of its landscape. So we are looking forward to drive there and
It's
see
an
the
hour
Mount
drive
Bental.
from here,
Yes.
I think, or maybe hour and a half. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
See you there. There are signs saying danger mines on the right hand side. Scared.
Yeah, this is scary.
There was a sign showing firing area entrance. I'm too much scared to switch on the GoPro.
We are still going.
We are laughing because we are very much scared. It's holding our heartbeats. A lot of UN cars here.
UN soldiers
Soldiers as well.
with their gun. Apparently, they are peacekeeping forces. That's how the world is now, right? If you want to keep peace, have a big gun. See a few cars coming and going.
Yeah, because this is a tourist spot as well.
Hopefully.
So Google encouraged us to go there.
If they're doing anything
If
wrong,
anything is
it's
happening
Google.
to us, it's
It's
on
not us.
सामने से right लेना है. Right लेना है सामने से.
तेरे साथ चलते चलते.
The left side mountain, a bus is coming down. So we are going there. It will take around 4 minutes.
And I guess we see the first glimpse of Syria from there,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
We feel overwhelmed to have this
What
kind of
way?
feeling.
I don't know, but it's a very different kind of feeling right now.
Mount Bental and the spiral road that goes up to the mountain.
There's a guy walking up the hill.
Crazier than us. This is the bus. So this is
Apparently
the
there's a
Mount
coffee shop
Bental.
as well.
Yes, there is a coffee shop called Cafe in the Cloud. This is like dangerously beautiful.
Beauty on the edge. Observe at your own risk. Pay attention and be vigilant during your tour of Promenade and Idea of Bunker. Now we are going inside the bunker. That's a tunnel. I've never been in an army bunker before. This is interesting. There's the other end of the tunnel. The view of the soldiers. bunker which was used in the war, I think sometime in the 1970s. But this place was really important. It's a very strategic location. That side is the Syrian border. It's pretty cloudy, cold and rainy. Can't see much. But yeah, this place has an eerie feeling to it.
The only border passage between Israel and Syria is located close to this base. You can also see a complex of white buildings in the valley. This is the main base, the United Nations Disengagement Observer Force. Their role is to monitor the disengagement agreement signed between Israel and Syria after the Yom Kippur War in 1974. It serves mainly for Druze residents of the Golan and UN soldiers. To the left of the camp and beyond the cultivated fields, the ruins of the town of Quneitra can be seen. The Circassians who settled there during the Ottoman Empire in the 19th century turned Quneitra into a major town in this region. Until 1967, Quneitra served as the central military base for the Syrian army. During the Six-Day War in 1967, the Israeli army climbed the Golan, and after 2 days of courageous and bitter fighting, captured the region. After 1973, during the Yom Kippur War, when the Syrian army launched a surprise attack on Israel and invaded the Golan. Only a small number of regular Israeli troops were there to face the onslaught of the Syrian army and its tanks. But they fought hard and bravely and were able to stop the Syrian invasion. When the Israeli reserve forces joined the battle, the Syrian army was pushed completely out of the Golan. In a later counterattack, the Israeli army occupied further territories deep inside Syria, 20 kilometers from the border. After the war, Israel and Syria signed a disengagement agreement, and Israel pulled back from the territories occupied in the Yom Kippur War. As a goodwill gesture, Israel also agreed to withdraw from the town of Quneitra. Today, the borderline passes just beyond the cultivated fields in front of you. The Syrians left Quneitra in ruins, and instead built a new town that can be seen just beyond the old town. Since signing the disengagement agreement in 1974, this border has been the quietest border that Israel has ever known with any of its neighbors.
Coming down from Mount Bental, it's pretty interesting. The view, the mountain is like 1600 something meters high. You get a 360-degree views of the landscape. The interesting part was that you could see Syria from the top. There was a city called Quneitra. The war in 1970 between Syria and Israel. After that war, Quneitra came to Israel, and the Syrians moved a bit further and established a new city called New Quneitra. So you could see those two cities from the top. The way to the mountain, when we were going, we were a little skeptical about how it would be. But on the top, we could see there were a lot of tourists. UN peacekeeping force here, because there is a narrow border between Israel and Syria, which is being under surveillance by the UN peacekeeping force. And this was after an agreement between the two countries. Now we are going to
Rosh Hanikra Blue Grottos.
Yeah.
Rosh Hanikra Blue Grottos is at the top part of Israel. It's at the corner and it shares a border with Lebanon. Sea grottos are some kind of caves which are made in the sea. The views are amazing from here.
Yeah, there's a lot of wineries in this area. A lot of agricultural land. Israel's agricultural land here. It's very cloudy and foggy, so we cannot see very far, but whatever we can see, it's beautiful. Yeah.
So the journey is about for 1 hour 20 minutes. But let's see, at least we will see one more country border today.